After years of quiet luxury, Laura Piana loafers, and if you know, you know, I want to welcome back Logomania. Haven't you heard? Logos are back.
Every year, Dior comes out with these beauty boxes around Christmas time, and look at this year's. Another gift from Gucci.
Some kind of supernova.
Yes, I'm wearing Chanel earrings again because logos are no longer a taboo in the fashion industry any longer. Hi, welcome to this channel where I'm going to deep dive into what I consider to be the most interesting part of the fashion industry, and that is how it relates to the greater world around us, because do not be misled, one definitely impacts the other. In this video, I want to look at how our shopping habits is very much directly, if I would argue so, related to the financial state of the world, and give you an indication as to why in the upcoming years I predict that Logomania a la 2015-2016 Gucci Marmont belt, Balenciaga socks, shoes, Dior oblique book tote is coming back. Now, before I jump into the immediate now and why, like my ADHD brain wants to, it's time for a little bit of a history lesson first. Like I started in this video, there is a direct link to be put between the fashion cycles and economic recessions. Now, for that, I want to look at the past three so that I can explain to you why we're getting out of one and what that means for fashion. So I want to start off at the very start of our century, the years 2000. Now, anyone who knows a little bit about fashion history knows that the 2000s can be categorized, the very early 2000s that is, with obnoxious everything. I mean, reality TV shows like Jersey Shore, socialites such as Paris Hilton and the what are those sisters called that now have the row, spoiler alert, were everywhere. I'm talking the Louis Vuitton bag made out of like gold or platinum silver colors, logos on everything, loud presences, Paddington Chloe bags. It was in your face, and it was what we today would probably consider absolutely trashy. Now, what comes right after this is the period around 2008 to around, I would argue, 2015, when the world was put into one of the worst recessions that we had seen in over 50 years. 2008 was, for a lot of families around the United States, one of the most tragic and dramatic events of their lives. A lot of people lost their homes, lost their incomes, lost their jobs, and a lot of people that should have faced consequences never did. This led to a real doubling in society and inequality, where some people lost everything and other people got rich, but knew very well that showing off that wealth was not the time or place. So after the extreme excessiveness of the early 2000s, we saw that the fashion industry adapted for their luxury clientele and started producing things that were more discreet. We saw the hipster, for example, really make an appearance around 2012, 2013. Comedy was a big thing, and graphic tees, knee-high boots with short skirts, but it wasn't logoed the way that we had seen in the early 2000s, far from it. Then we go into the end of what I would consider to be that recession period, which is around 2015, and fashion responded positively and triumphantly with Logomania, the way we know it today, as what I would trademark it to be the Gucci Gang era. Gucci Gang era, because of the very famous rap song named that way, was all about mixing streetwear with luxury clothes. We saw the rise of what we would consider today to be the nouveau riche, rappers, and also the rise of social media stars on Instagram and on YouTube that had started to make their money online. Now, these people brought up a different kind of luxury where it had to be comfortable and it had to have a certain swagger. time appropriate lingo was in your face, was loud, and was Kardashian led. Everything was tight, everything was in your face. I'm thinking about the Balenciaga sock trainer, I'm thinking the Gucci Marmont belt, the Gucci Marmont bag,
but here it is in person and I absolutely love it.
I'm thinking the oblique print at Dior that was on everything, especially the book tote that was released around this time as well.
So cool. I actually got like little matching sandals that go with this, so I'll show you guys those on Instagram stories when they come in.
I think of the Balmain blazer that was so synonymous with the brand that you could see it and you knew exactly what you were looking at. I'm talking about the Gucci t-shirt. Honestly, if you were to make the perfect outfit of that time, I would argue put on a blazer from Balmain, the Gucci t-shirt underneath, followed by the Gucci Marmont belt, add on some jeans from, no, that's still too niche. What was a big jean, like skinny jeans, Avi? Help me out in the comments if you do. Then knee-high tight boots over that, preferably with some form of Fendi print on it, and carrying your Gucci Marmont on your shoulder while traveling with your book tote in your other hand. Everything was logoed, everything was out there. Now, as we move forward, this was doing pretty well. Even if you look at Google Trends, which is what I used as research for this video, you see that they're all doing relatively well, all those key terms. And then around 2020, there's a shift. COVID forced a lot of people into their homes and to work remotely, but it's important to remember that a lot of people lost their lives and lost their income around that time too. While in a lot of countries, a lot of people complained about having to work from home, a lot of people who could not work from home lost incomes and lost a lot separately to that. We saw also the rise of binge watching shows about the wealthy and finding out about quiet luxury. I think the best example of this is Recession. Really started off this movement. Think of the Laura Piana cap that one of the characters, Kendall Roy, wears on the show, which apparently cost $800, but you would never know if you were to just see the cap. Or blazers and coats with no obvious logoing anywhere that could go up to $15,000. That movement really shifted the fashion industry from that obnoxious aspirational logoed everything to the VIC, the very important client, the wealthy woman who would walk into a store dressed without a logo. Like, all of this could have been bought from H&M if you were to look from far away, but would walk out with about your mortgage in new stuff from a luxury house. This created the quiet luxury or stealth wealth trend, as we'd like to call it, on social media, which led to a lot of people shifting from logos to if you know, you know, which I would consider to be the motto of this fashion era. I think we still were very much in it until about the end of 2025, which is about the time that I'm recording this video. This was characterized by no logo to barely a logo, quality items, a lot of inspiration from Ralph Lauren's early campaigns, things such as the polos, the blouses, the French style, which as a French person, I can tell you it most of this is not. Gone were the blazers from Balmain, which were tight-fitting. We were looking at more oversized, almost masculine looks for women. And the same was for men. Suddenly, the tracksuit was trashy, and the big chains were too. And we were looking at the classic Euro summer man, which was one that would wear a cardigan draped over his shoulders with a polo with straight fitted pants. Gone were the skinny jeans too, which was one thing I'm kind of happy about. All of this dictated that if you were to wear a logo, you were now associated with being chuggy or being out of touch, because a logo was seen as not really acceptable, because now you were basically admitting that you are doing really well while the rest of the world was not. This is a great parallel to put with the 2008 to 2012 financial crises that I talked about earlier in this video, where that similar sentiment was around. All this brings us to now. Why am I saying that I'm feeling a shift back to Logomania? I think I saw it in the previous collection already a little bit, but also that most of the recession language and lingo that you'd see on the news is kind of gone and have been replaced with this YOLO mentality. Now, YOLO, you only live once. I'm really bringing out the early 2000s lingo, am I not? Is all about these times are tough. We don't know if we're going to be okay. So let's just live our life to the fullest now, and we'll see about the rest later. Now, with geopolitical tension, this feeling of constant yo-yoing in the economy, the feeling I can't afford a house anyway, so why bother? Let's just make the rest of my life filled with small things that make me happy, and I will look good and convince the rest of the world around me that I am doing fine, because that is what this new era of Logomania is going to be about. It's going to be about creating this image of status and this image that I am doing well because I can, because I have this great business idea, because of it's not the same. Everyone is in trouble that the 2020 period have. It's I'm doing better than you and I'm here to prove it. I've started seeing this shift already on social media with people on my feed being more openly doing haul videos. I've seen the rise in luxury influencers again. I've also seen people pull out their Gucci Marmont belts and their oblique book totes. Another indicator of this is Gucci hiring their creative director Demna from Balenciaga. Balenciaga, to me, under Demna was synonymous with that Gucci gang era, and Gucci, as it's called, was big around this time. Now, I would love to see in the comments what you think. Do you think that there is going to be a rise of stealth wealth still, or do you think that flex culture is back? Put it in the comments. I'd love to have a discussion with you on this, and check out my other videos while you're at it. And I will see you in my next ADHD-led online discussion.